Sylacauga, Childersburg, 256-245-4361 for pre-need to at-need funeral services, funerals, burials, cremation since 1975. It's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. In obituary news this morning, Moretta Robinson died overnight at Sylacauga Health and Rehab. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel will announce the arrangements. Funeral service for Elvin Buddy Winston Sanders, age 94, of Sylacauga, will be today at Curtis & Son Funeral Home at 12:30. Reverend Rodney Frost will officiate the service. Burial in the Evergreen Memorial Cemetery. Visitation prior to the 12:30 service from 11:30 until service time. In lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the Oldfield United Methodist Church, 32 Sayers Lane in Sylacauga, 35150. Mr. Sanders, a longtime employee of the City of Sylacauga Utilities Board Electrical Department for some 44 years. He attended the Oldfield United Methodist Church. Online condolences at curtisonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing that service. In other obituary news this morning, funeral service for Richard Harold Peters, age 94, of Sylacauga, will be Thursday at 1 o'clock from Randy Smith Funeral Home Chapel with Pastor Mark Jessup officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Mr. Peters died Monday, November the 7th at Coos Valley Nursing Home. Visitation Thursday from noon until service time at the funeral home. In lieu of flowers, a contribution can be sent to the Knollwood Presbyterian Church, 1277 Knollwood Lane in Sylacauga, 35151, or you may make a contribution to a charity of your choice. Randy Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga in charge of the arrangements. Funeral service for the Reverend Calvin Rip One Marshall will be Saturday, November the 12th at J. Craig Smith Community Center in Sylacauga at 11 o'clock with burial in the Sylacauga Cemetery. Visitation is Friday at the funeral home from 1 until 7. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga directing. And funeral service for Donna Thompson will be Saturday, November 12th at Community Funeral Home Chapel in Sylacauga at 1 o'clock. Visitation prior to the service, 11 until 1. Also at the funeral home, Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. In other obituary news this morning, funeral arrangements will be announced for Shantea Lee, age 23, by S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory. Also, homegoing celebration, remember the life of Mr. Willie Bill Kennedy, age 83, of Talladega, will be Friday at 1 p.m. from S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Chapel with the Reverend Dr. Horace Patterson officiating. Interment in the Midway Memory Gardens. Public viewing will be held on Thursday from 3 till 7 o'clock at the funeral home, S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory in Talladega, in charge of the arrangements. That is a look at obituaries this morning, brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. A couple of other couple of other funeral home announcements. Lorraine Tucker, age 78, of Alpine, died Monday at her residence. Curtis & Son Funeral Home will announce the funeral arrangements later today. And Tommy Gilbert, age 69, died Monday. There will be a service receiving friends today from 1 until 2 at Talladega Funeral Home Chapel, and the funeral service at 2 with the Reverend John Monteith officiating. Talladega Funeral Home directing that service. And Delank Canada Harris died November 7th at the age of 67. Funeral service will be 11 o'clock Friday at Lincoln United Methodist Church with the Reverend Lloyd Gibbs and the Reverend Lee Witherington officiating. Burial in the Eastaboga Baptist Church Cemetery. The family receiving friends Thursday evening 5 till 7 at Erstry Funeral Home in Talladega. Erstry Funeral Home in Talladega directing. Ms. Harris was a member, grew up in the Craig Memorial United Methodist Church in Eastaboga, and most recently a member of the Lincoln United Methodist Church. Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega in charge of the arrangements.